Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a channeled message from the Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine. Now, not all of this message may resonate with everyone watching. Some of it might, some of it won't. Perhaps all of it will for a few of you out there. So please just take in from this message what speaks to your soul and what resonates for you, and release the rest to the universe. Now, what I'm hearing is that your Divine Masculine is caught within the orbit of your soul, a connection so deep, so surprising and new that it has definitely turned their world upside down. They've never felt anything like this, and you probably haven't either, but it is driving them wild, not because they don't want it, but because they fear it. There are some people that from a very young age hope to find that rare connection that they can share with someone, a true love, a real love, with the person they feel and believe is meant for them, the one they are destined to meet, the one they are destined to be with. Well, from what I'm picking up, your Divine Masculine is one of those people. Now, perfect couples were not something they really believed existed. And after some of the relationships that they have been involved in, I can't say I totally blame them, actually. They didn't think someone like you would come along. It seems they didn't dare to even imagine that someone like you existed. So they really weren't looking for you, and they weren't looking for love. And then boom, out of nowhere, you show up and you turn their world upside down. You turned everything in their life, actually, upside down, and they probably did the very same thing for you as well. At first, they threw caution to the wind, and they got caught up in the strength of your connection and were more than happy to go along for the ride with you. They weren't thinking about it, about where your connection came from, what it was all about, and what it meant. They were just feeling. In their emotions. They were just in their feelings, actually, really allowing themselves to feel on a deeper level than they ever have before. And they were exhilarated, and they were amazed at how perfect, how right everything felt, and how right their world has been. They did feel this connection to you. How could they not? They thought they were lucky to be experiencing this, lucky to have met you, and felt that they were part of something very special. Everything about you seemed too good to be true, as if you were tailor-made for them. Prior to you, their heart was only experiencing love on very shallow levels that neatly fit into boxes that they could understand, perhaps, and compartmentalize. But this connection between you came with no instructions, no prior experience for them to draw upon. It was very foreign for them, and they had no map to navigate the journey. So when their logical mind brought them back to Earth after floating on air, well, the questions started, one after the other, and they felt like they had to somehow control this wild connection because they wanted to tame it, slow it down, and manage it somehow. They didn't know that that is not possible, and they would only end up being self-destructive. It was both awesome and a bit spooky to them how comfortable with you they were right away. Something about you felt very familiar to them in those first conversations, in those first meetings that you had with each other, because the conversations flowed very easily. The chemistry was off the charts, and they lowered their defenses in many ways. You changed them right away. Now, they weren't normally comfortable with things developing so quickly, that fast. They didn't open up that easily. They didn't fall so hard and so fast for someone. And they certainly don't have someone finish their sentences or say the exact thing that they are thinking before they say it themselves. And that is what they found in you. And it was all great, and it was all wonderful and magical until they began to overanalyze everything. They felt like they needed to take control of the pace of your relationship. That is why when you got close to reaching another level, like taking a trip together, moving in together, getting engaged, making it official, whatever that step was. They freaked out right before it was to happen. Whether it manifested in them sabotaging that next step or not, even if you couldn't see it, they were freaking out big time. The on and off, the hot, then cold, then back to hot again, that is all from them trying to find a balance within themselves. They want to express their feelings, but then feel they expose themselves too much, so they withdraw to the extreme. For example, they might profess their love for you, tell you how great you are, and then the next day, they act like that entire conversation never happened. The mixed signals, the sudden changes in behavior, no wonder you feel as confused as they do. For those of you in separation, I am being shown your divine masculine's sleepless nights, restlessness, tossing and turning, tears flowing, mind racing. It would not surprise me at all if you, divine feminine, are having trouble sleeping, and even perhaps yourselves are waking up exhausted in the morning, because the connection the two of you share with each other, if this person is tossing and turning throughout the night or dwelling, obsessing about you and this connection, you are definitely going to be kept awake by that energy as well. But the divine masculine is out of his depth, divine feminine, and it's why he's acting so out of control, like an emotional Tasmanian devil. Prior to you, loving someone, letting someone in, included pain. They've been mesmerized by you, but fear the unknown of what the outcome of your journey together will be. It is that fear of the unknown that has allowed them, unfortunately, to imagine every worst-case scenario that they possibly can. Instead, they should ideally be trying to focus on and imagine the best-case scenarios, but because of their prior experiences, they are being led down the path of considering these worst-case scenarios. But they are seeing you in everything, and everywhere they go, and everything they do, and it's driving them to the brink. They think of reaching out, but then they freeze, not from indifference, but from fear. What if you say all the things they fear you might say? What if you tell them your feelings have changed, that this is now one-sided and all on their end, and that you just now see them for who they really are, and you don't like what you see? Just thinking all of that scares them to their core. They know you know them better than they know themselves, and that makes it harder for them to hide these things about themselves that they are not proud of. They don't feel those parts of them or of their story are lovable, so how can they expect you to love it? But they can't let go. They feel pulled by this tie that binds you, and it won't let go. And to be honest, they don't want to let it go. They know they won't find anything like you, like this connection, or this love ever again. You, divine feminine, reach deeper into their soul, touching corners of them they didn't know were there, that they hid away. But you have awakened them. They must untangle their emotions, separate their love from their fears. They've never had to take a risk like this. They may not have told you this, or maybe they did, but in prior relationships, it seems that they always knew the person that they were involved with never really had their heart. Not like you do. But this connection is reshaping them, divine feminine, and the process has not been pretty, but it will be worth it in the end. They are getting constant nudges and reminders of you from the universe to keep them motivated and on track, because every road is leading them back to you. Your telepathic connection has been working overtime as well, and they hear your voice in their head, and the energy you have been sending them has been hitting the mark. They miss talking to you in the 3D space. They know that you would always give it to them straight, that you were always honest with them, and, quite frankly, they want your help, but have had a hard time asking for it. And it's truly a shame that you both couldn't help one another as much as you could have, and that they have chosen to take this detour off the path alone. But You have to let them find their own way back to you, because their path is leading them back to you. And right now, all you can do is keep trudging forward yourself, letting them catch up to you. They have been afraid to level up, afraid that they would fail. And part of them, although I am not getting this as a conscious effort, wanted you to stay on their level rather than rise up and ascend to yours. But that wouldn't have worked at all, because they needed to elevate themselves. And twin flames are all about personal growth and change, and if you try to avoid it, and let's just say, karma comes knocking. And karma has been at their house more than the mailman lately, delivering karma on the daily. The divine masculine can try to run and hide from these changes and this ascension that they're going to have to go through, but they can only do that for so long. Change is inevitable. Change is going to come. So when the universe, when the divine, when karma comes knocking, they can avoid it for a while, but ultimately the divine masculine is going to have to transform and evolve and return back to you so that you can get on the same path together. This is your message today, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching and allowing us to share your journey. If you enjoyed this message, please take a moment to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate all of you so very much. Blessings of peace, love, and light to all of you watching. Have a beautiful day, everyone.